This is Signature Morning on Signature TV. It's a Monday, May 12th, 2025. Charles here. Hope you're good. So we are going to be talking about the IMF loan that was given to Nigeria on COVID-19 some few years back. We're hearing that the repayment has been done in full in one of the reports that we actually received. We have with us on the other side of the studio Abdulmumin Musa Omiya. Is an academician and a sociologist. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning. All right, Musa, thank you so much for joining us. The news about this loan, when it even came, a lot of persons were saying that the monies were not enough. Some others were also saying that the monies were even diverted to some other things. We didn't have a lot of problems with COVID-19. We know how the world was, especially in Europe, America, and Asia. We understand that a lot of people lost their lives. There were a shutdown of the economies. A plane could not fly. People could not move from one place to another. But Africa won that particular war, if you like to call it a war. But then some persons think that the loan giving to Nigeria wasn't well utilized. How would you react to that?
Okay, thank you for having me. I think the a body, Sarap, actually raised some issues concerning how the loan was actually utilized, and it has been calling for probe. In fact, I think sometimes this year, it also called this regime to probe how this fund was actually utilized. Because when you collect loan, you collected it for a reason. COVID-19 loan was actually collected for a particular purpose. Question the effects of COVID-19, because COVID-19 was, as it was said, a global problem, because it stopped a lot of movement, international movement and domestic movement. It affected countries' economy so gravely that the government decided to go and take loan. And concerning how the loan was utilized, there are a lot of issues. And when we look at it, do we even need the loan at all? Because if we pledge our card very well, we never needed this kind of loans. Because we've had some regimes that came to power to actually even reduce our loans. Like, if you remember, Murtala Mohammed reduced our loan. You can also remember Abacha, who reduced the loan from I think 36 billion to around 28 billion. So concerning how the loan was utilized, because first there was a cash transfer to individuals to cushion the effects, but who got it? How many people got it? So when you look at it, you see that we still have a lot of maternal mortality in the hospitals. This fund was supposed to be used to boost agriculture, to boost our health care system, our infrastructure like roads. But now, up till now, how many roads can we say have been done? Because a lot of people in the rural area farming and feeding this country are still don't have roads. Then if you look at the hospital, if you look at the hospital facilities today, you go to hospital, you see a lot of maternal mortality. So the rise, Nigeria is one of the highest maternal mortality country in the world. And you look at the, because it's a health issue, COVID-19, so we have to dwell much on the hospital. Because you go to hospital today, you see children dying because some of them come with this throat problem that they need oxygen to clear them. So if you look at, there were even donations apart from this loan. There were donations from EU, USAID, and several bodies of oxygen and other things. Then why are we still having this kind of problem in our hospitals? Why is our agriculture not the way it's supposed to be? Because once to boost agriculture, we should remember that before the oil boom, agriculture was one of our basic internal revenue when oil was not there. And Nigeria was actually built that time using mainly agriculture, because agriculture form around 80% of our GDP, just as oil now, because oil has replaced it. So a lot of issues are still there that as COVID-19 came and actually wind up, we can't really tell a kind of effect this loan has done on us positively per se. But then the loan has been settled, but at times you kind of do your research and you see that the loan has not been settled, because there are some percentages that we need to service, because when you collect loan, there's principal amount, then there's interest. Then when you look at this amount that is left, uh, it's something that is worrisome. And it's not only IMF. We have loans with India. That's a bilateral loan. India around $22 million. We have around five point something $1 billion with China. We have loan with Germany. We have loan with France. So we have loan with World Bank. So paying off this loan is something that should be, the regime should be congratulated. But how it was used, my own call is that how it was used, to answer your question properly, I've talked about some certain issues. I think the government, the regime should actually look into what Sarap is calling for. Sarap is calling for probe. Sarap is not there to castigate anybody, and like other CSOs and NGOs and other bodies. And I'm also in line with that call that how this money was used should actually be investigated. And I am also blaming the lenders, because no, I can't blame them, because they lend to make actually profits. But then there should be probe on how it was used, who got it, what it was used for. So I think those are some issues we can think around concerning this question.
Right, but with what you have seen and also followed, do you think the loan was adequately utilized?
Honestly, I don't think it was adequately utilized, because when you collect loan, it should be seen on ground what was done with it. Like when you look at, as I told you, when you look at our hospitals, the equipment we had before COVID, most of them are still there. And you go to our hospital today, you see the light problem. Light is a problem in the hospital. You have equipment issues. Doctors are crying for more pay. A lot of issues in the hospital. When you go into our agriculture also, and even our local production, what do we produce? Our product of international standard, has this long actually impacted on this local production? We produce a lot of things in Nigeria today, because this is part of what weakens our naira. We produce a lot of things in Nigeria today that we supposed to be that's supposed to be at international arena. But most of our products cannot even cross Atlantic Ocean. So these are some kind of those kind of things that this loan is supposed to come in and actually see how to solve them. Because if we want to actually utilize this loan very well, let's go back and look at before independence. The loan were collected by the Britain. Though it was a dubious regime, a colonial regime was actually a dubious one, but we have something to learn from them. Like when they collect loan, when they were even in Nigeria, they collect. Our first loan was around 1920, 23, 24, when we collected around 5 million, I think, pounds that time. Then 1927, we collected another loan to pay to service to actually take care of the project of railway from Lagos to Port Harcourt. So each loan these people collected, though they were doing those projects for their own convenience to serve themselves, but they were actually utilizing this money the way it's supposed to be used, because they knew they were going to benefit from that. But actually, this $3.4 billion that was collected was not actually properly used as it's supposed to be.
All right. I mean, we've seen Sarap, go all out sometimes in asking the government to do a lot of things, sometimes going to court. You don't tend to see them, get to a conclusion with some of these issues that they, raise against the government. Notable amongst that is the under the last administration of Buhari, 8 years, we know that Sarap was very vocal. They now and then they write to the government. Sometimes they even take the government to the courts, and then it ends there. We don't hear anything about it. Why do you think that this particular one that they've embarked upon would be any different, and how different would it be really?
Honestly, I don't think there may not be difference, but they can be silenced and shouldn't be silent because the courts, who owns the courts? Is the government that owns the courts? Is the government that owns the judges? Is the government that pays the judges? Is the government that so if the government owns the court, so they can decide to do whatever they want to do. But here is somebody who is trying to tell you that this your house, there's problem with your house, you have to repair this place, you have to repair this place. Or the money you gave out to a contractor to build a house for you, or do something, he did not use it very well. So let's probe the person, let's probe the contractor, or let's probe the engineer that built that house. And you are staying in a rotten house built by somebody you gave huge amount of money, and somebody is telling you let's probe the person, and you are not doing it. What does that make? Does that make sense? So honestly, at this age, Nigerian courts, Nigerian government is not supposed to behave this way. So if an issue is taken to court, the court is supposed to actually look at the issue and invite the parties and discuss issues and a probe. In fact, a government like CSOs are there like a media to actually probe anything that happens in a particular country or a particular community so that you fix it. Because there are people that do things they think they are doing them right. Then when you put them on watch, you kind of fix them, you kind of fix things. So I don't think the courts will do something different from what happened in the previous regime, because we have a regime that seems to be a little bit even worse than the military regime, because for some of us that actually saw the end of the military regime, we saw some benefits. And when you look at what they did, look at Abacha as a military personnel, as a military head of state, he came and actually dropped down our own external debt. You understand? So the court, as I told you already, is there to serve the interest of the people in power and the affluent people, and that's what I think is playing out. And I think this regime should actually work hard to redeem her own image as far as judiciary is concerned, and as far as COVID-19, $3.4 billion dollars money is concerned. It's not the matter of paying it back; it's a matter of the impact. There are a lot of impact. We saw an error hike, and because of that, probably when you collect IMF loan, it comes with a lot of conditionalities. Some conditions may not be spelled out to you, but once you collect the loan, you will see them, like the regulation of Naira. We can see how Naira became so high. You could remember, like, I think the highest regime that collected external debt was General Buhari. And you can see how Naira rose from around, is it 190 to around, this regime is now 100, is it 1,600 and something now. So each time we collect, we have higher loan, you see the Naira becomes so devalued. And it suffocates our own local economy. It's part of the conditionalities. So we open our border for external investment to come in. You reduce taxes and tariff for foreign investors. So I think the regime should work hard to redeem her image as far as judiciary is concerned, because a lot of Nigerians are watching, and this thing has plunged a lot of Nigerians into problems. Because like now we are having insecurity, and when you have insecurity and your economy is not working well, and you have people you have people in power who are actually just like a parasite to the economy, you can see how much is being spent to run the governance, for the governance. So I think the government should actually work hard to see that at least judiciary, a probe is being done and investigation being carried out so that uh, what was done with this money, Nigerians are supposed to understand, supposed to know.
Mm. In, Again, sometimes when these things happen, you would hope that these loans are used to purchase and equip our health centers, for future purposes. Nobody's praying for anything bad to happen tomorrow, but we see these things, happen anyways. With the loans that we've collected, and I also hear that we already started repaying. Do you think that if we are faced with a challenge in the magnitude of COVID-19, that our health centers will be able to contain it?
I don't think so, and I don't agree with that. Our health center cannot be able to take care of such issues in case another one surfaces. And if another one starts again, I think it's another loan upon loan that we are going to actually look for. You look at a health center that has a power problem. A health center having power problem. Power is cardinal when you are running a health center. There are drugs that need to stay in that need to be kept in refrigerators. Blood that were collected need to stay in refrigerators. There were a lot of things, like patients will be in the hospital, you see patients sweating, patients stay in darkness, medical doctors don't have light in their offices. There's definitely a problem. Then you come to equipment. There are a lot of equipment we are lacking in the hospitals, ranging from oxygen, X-ray machines, a lot of issues. So I don't think we are ready to actually take care of any problem of this magnitude. So, and you look at a medical personnel, each time they keep crying for pay, for higher pay, for this. See, somebody that is working uh, in the health sector as a doctor who is not being paid well, how do you expect him to work properly? How many medical doctors have left Nigeria in the past 2-3 years? We should go back to these statistics and we should look at why are they actually leaving. These are the people that are supposed to be around in case we have some pandemic or something. Just as you said, we are not praying for anything to happen. But when you look at it, the consultants are leaving this country. Part of this money is supposed to have been used to even keep these people around. Okay, the people in power. And I think the reason why this thing is continuing is because some, if not most of them, don't even go to public hospitals. Some of them, each time they have problems, they fly abroad. You can see a president going out because there's no trust in the medical system in our hospital. They may have their own reason for security. How can a president leave his own country to go and check something that there are thousands of medical doctors that should be able to check that kind of problem? It's actually a disgrace. So you go to a hospital that maybe you are an emergency and people are actually asking you to go and often file first, become an emergency. So when you look at these kind of issues, you see that we are not ready. What you call medical sector, and I'm sure the people in power and the affluent people that go for medical voyages outside, they can testify that what is happening in Nigeria is not, we can't call those centers medical centers per se, because where they go, the way they talk to you, and when you go to this hospital now, sometimes you see a medical personnel talking to you maybe in a harsh way, whatever. Sometimes it's the social precondition of the environment that make them to talk that way. So I don't think if we have this kind of problem, we'll be able to stand on our own, because it may be loan upon loan. Because as I told you already, we have a loan with France, Germany, China, I think even Japan, then IMF and World Bank. So I think we have a lot of issues to do, a lot of things to do as far as medical sector is actually concerned.
All right. Going forward, really, what do you think can be done? Sarap has gone to courts. I can't remember the last time that Sarap even won a court case with the federal government. I mean, we just hear it in the front pages of newspapers or even on broadcast mediums like this one, and then it ends there. You know, I don't know to what extent this would in any way move anybody in government to try to explain to Nigerians, because again, Nigerians need to know how these COVID-19 loans were actually used. The government has every communications channels to speak to Nigerians on this matter, but do you think that the Nigerian government have adequately communicated to the Nigerian population regarding how they used these loans, how they disbursed it to different state governments, and the result of the disbursement of this monies? Because again, they are public funds, and the best that I know is that no government so far, whether at the state or local government levels, have accounted for these particular monies.
That's an interesting one. I think loan in Nigeria is not citizen inclined. Citizens are not carried along. I'm telling you, what citizens know about Nigerian loan is when the Nigeria, those that even listen to news and read newspapers. When the country is taking the loan, you see it on the headlines. Nigeria is about to take social loan from IMF. Nigeria is taking social loan from World Bank. And the other one is Nigeria has paid back loan. I think this is what Nigerians know. First of all, Nigerians need to be educated about, like, IMF. What is IMF? Nigerians need to know about it. Our problems start from education. We have to educate our people on why we need certain things, considering the kind of people we choose to actually represent us. First of all, we go back, let's understand what IMF is about. Then the conditions of those loans should be spelled out to Nigerians, maybe on the national television or through a referendum. Nigerians should know about the kind of how much is being to be collected, the conditions of those loans. A lot of Nigerians today, you ask them about IMF, some of them don't even know what IMF is about. IMF was established in 1944, just a year before World War II ended. And it started operation in 1947. We lend out money to communities and member communities. Then it has conditions, and these conditions need to be spelled out to people, because it's not all about paying back the loan. It's about the impact. So Nigerians should actually know about what IMF is all about, how much is being collected, why are we collecting this loan, and who are in charge of this loan. And as the loan progresses, we start utilizing this money, there should be a need to actually educate Nigerians on how much is being spent and who gets what. So when you look at these things, Nigerians are actually not aware of these kind of things. All Nigerians are hearing is some dollars being used, some of them are not even told in naira. So I think the loan, the citizens are not actually carried along. But the only thing that is telling on the citizen, and the citizen should know that, is that the impact is actually showing. the hike in naira, the the a lot of lack of industrial development, and a lot of issues that you can see around are actually showing. So the government need to actually educate people on loans, on the loans, and how it is being collected, and how much is to be collected, and what it is to be used for, and whether it actually was used to achieve that particular to actually curtail that particular issue. So I think that would be a nice one. But Nigerians are not actually carried along as long as the or have not been carried along as long as 3.4 billion COVID-19 loan is concerned.
All right. Abdulmumin Musa Omiya, many thanks for your insights on this matter, and I hope that these conversations most likely reach the quarters where these must be explained to Nigerians, so we can have some clear view of what exactly happened to the COVID-19 loan and how it was used and how it was disbursed under the last administration. Many thanks for your time. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Signature TV. News in your pocket.